I have coronavirus, according to the CDC, could be controlled in the United States within 2 months if people diligently wear face masks. That's what the CDC says right now. I asked State Senator Tom Barrett last hour, the Republican from Charlotte, what he made of that stat. Here's what he said.
I don't doubt that there's some credibility to what they're claiming. But, Michael Patrick, I will also say the CDC is recommending that, couples who are married wear masks when they're being intimate in their bedroom together. And I don't put a lot of stock in that particular,
You even get to take the mask out to eat French fries, but you got to keep it on for that?
Yeah, so I think that's probably taking it a little bit too far.
Tony Daunt is the executive director of the Michigan Freedom Fund, and on our AT&T line right now with reaction.
Oh, well, I guess I'm glad I'm not dating right now. So
it's pretty tough in that department, I imagine.
Yeah, you go to the grocery store and you see somebody that you might be interested in, maybe try to approach them, but it's you're not sure what you're getting into, so you just kind of let it slide these days. But more seriously,
who is that man behind that mask? Who is that masked man? And then you're like, would you like to go get tested for our first date? That would be pretty good.
And it probably doesn't help that I wear a screen mask, from the movie when I'm out either. So that's not helpful either.
Oh my gosh! It's funny that you say that because in I think it's New Zealand right now, or maybe it's Iceland. I saw that there are people they know are frustrated with everything that's going on, and so they've decided to allow you to scream at the top of your lungs and send it in. And they will play it through a loudspeaker out in the wide open spaces, like out in the hillsides or whatever, so that your frustration can be heard throughout the land, amplified in a speaker. I know that sometimes, Tony Daunt, the things that happen in our government, and especially when it comes to taking away our liberty and freedom, make you want to scream.
Yeah, absolutely, and that sounds like it might be a nice little spot for the Michigan Freedom Fund here. Have people call in for that, but. To what Senator Barrett said, more seriously, to his point, I think the fact that their recommendation to wear masks makes sense, and I think people should do that. But he makes a great point about kind of the what people hear and see from the CDC and their leaders, whether it's President Trump or Governor Whitmer, that there's just so much inconsistency, and the story changes so much from March to now about what we should and shouldn't do, that people look at it and they say, well, if these so-called experts and our so-called leaders don't know what's going on, they don't know what the truth is, and they're telling us one thing one day and another the next, well, then I'm going to default to what doesn't infringe upon my liberties. And I think that's why you see such consternation about this, why you see things deteriorating into violence like this. And it's a shame. And a friend of mine made a great point that, we're all struggling right now with the economy, with separation, with the fear, the unknown. But there's plenty of good stories out there to be focused on. There's plenty of good news, like, for instance, all these studies that show that kids really should be able to go back to school. There shouldn't be this hysteria and fear about sending kids back to school. And we just all need a little bit of grace and to understand, walk in other people's shoes and say, you know what, I'm not going to say something to this guy who's wearing a mask in his car alone, or I'm not going to say something to the guy who doesn't have a mask on as he's walking into a store. Just let it be. Just go about your business. And I think those are great words.
That's what the sheriff said yesterday to me, Sheriff Rigglesworth, and it's in direct opposition to what I heard the governor say in her press conference yesterday when she said she was proud of the 77-year-old man who tried to speak up and help the clerk. You've got to be careful. Tony Daunt takes care of your freedom. MichiganFreedomFund.com.